one of the things you mentioned in the preview pod, we did that on Thursday, was the front four and how you'd like to see Chaplin play as the 10 with Amari on the right and Smolix on the left, and that's what happened. And it's fair to say that Chaplin and Hutchinson did well. So have we found something that could be knitted forward and put down going forward as maybe what should be happening going forward?
Yeah, I think so. The debate on the right side is an interesting one now, where this is our first time looking at Amari Hutchinson as a right-sided starter in the Premier League. Now, with Chio Bene out for what we'd imagine is going to be the rest of the season, based on what Kieran McKenna said, the only other alternative, realistically, correct me if I'm wrong, you're looking at Wes Burns. And Wes, I think he's a really good player, but I think that he has probably struggled since that injury that he picked up against Liverpool. I think he's maybe struggled to find his feet a bit. And Amari in those 1v1 moments, in terms of getting balls into the box, in terms of being direct, in terms of being fun to watch, in terms of being a really good dribbler, ticks all the boxes of what you want in that role, and you seem to enjoy it more. And then Chaplin, it's weird, isn't it? Because we didn't see him for the first half of the start. He was coming on in the 88th minute and things like that. And for him to put in a really strong showing against Brentford, then to do the same here, he had maybe 2 or 3 shots that went just wide. He's very shot heavy in the Premier League. I've noticed that maybe a little bit more than in the Championship, but it's not like it's a bad thing necessarily. He's getting into the right areas to do it, and it feels like he's the kind of driving force there, which I like. The left side's an interesting one. I think that Smodics in the last few games has been a little bit more anonymous than I would have liked. I just want him in the game a little bit more. But again, there are options there to look at in terms of playing him in the middle if you don't have Chaplin, in terms of having Jack Clark. Lots of different things you can do. But in terms of the right and the centre in this game, really impressed. And Amari's obviously a big talking point because we've spoken so much about him being on the right, and he was really good in this game.
Any thoughts on that, Stu? I guess Chaplin was kind of something of a little forgotten man, maybe, for a period. He's obviously started the first game and then he's not really been a factor. But last couple of games, he's impressed.
Yeah, ridiculously was being kind of written off by some. Again, I don't want to put too much weight on social media. It's always sometimes the noisy majority we focus on that. But he'd only started that opening game, and then he'd had a handful of very late minutes off the bench, and yet there were people sort of going, "Oh, he's not good enough for the level." He hadn't even had a chance to prove that, and he's come into the starting 11, and I thought he was a major reason why the team looked so much more fluid and joined up. I think Amari on the right, we've talked about, it enables him to be, he's a young player, exciting player, but sort of playing out on the right, you're enabled to sort of play with that side of his game a little bit more without kind of needing to do absolutely everything. And it just looks so much more functional, that entire right-hand side with Johnson, with Morsey on the right side of the 2 midfielders. It all just joined up that bit better. And Chaplin's more of a kind of a line blocker when you look at the high press. He's very good at kind of closing off angles and doing that sort of stuff, whereas Amari's kind of that right down, press in your face, try and nip the ball back. And the whole team just felt, certainly that right-hand side felt a lot more functional in this game. So I can see that being something that Kieran sticks with going forwards.